Hello, everybody. My name is Zachary Ebert. I'm a general studies major at Texas State University. Today, I'll be going over my project on cement manufacturing environmental impact in the United States. A little brief background on why this issue was important to me. So I've been a sales and logistics manager for a major cement transportation provider for a little over 4 years now. I'm deeply involved within the cement industry, especially in the Texas cement industry. My goal of this was to gain a better understanding of the industry, but also having the opportunity to have a positive impact toward the issue. My career also relies heavily on the success of the cement industry, so I want to do everything I can to help out the industry, even if that means shedding some light on some particular issues. So for this, I had three primary audiences: I had the general public of the United States, the construction industry, and the cement manufacturing industry. Some of the brief stuff I had seen within the general public is we have roughly around 333 million people residing in the United States, with that expected to grow a little over 400 million by 2067. And through some extensive surveying, unfortunately, I saw that there was only roughly around 20% of individuals that were familiar or had a little bit of understanding on this issue. Going on to the construction industry. So the construction industry in the United States is the largest construction sector in the entire world. Through its 7 million employees, they produce roughly about $1.4 trillion worth of projects per year. And they're also the cement industry's largest consumer, averaging a little over $14 billion worth of purchases per year. And lastly, the cement manufacturing industry, of course, so it's the third largest producer of cement in the world. It's got roughly around 13,000 employees, and it covers roughly around 20 major companies throughout the United States, and they produce a little over 100 million metric tons of cement a year. Now, the main problem at stake, though, with that million metric tons a year being produced, they're producing a large amount of carbon dioxide pollution. Around roughly over 40 million metric tons of pollution just in 2020, to be exact. And unfortunately, that number is expected to grow over the next decade to a little over 50 million metric tons, if not resolved. One of the major issues for this is because of its high energy intensive and complex manufacturing process, and predominantly one of the major ingredients of cement is called clinker. So the issue with the clinker is it has to go in somewhat of a kiln. Almost think of it as kind of a oven process to help the cement react right with the limestone. The clinker, what it requires is a little over 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit of heat. With that being said, it's requiring a huge amount of fuel necessary to produce such high temperature, and also just the direct flume gases that go in directly into the atmosphere. So my goal of this was to create an educational workshop, primarily for the three discussed audiences. And so what I wanted to go through it was go through the manufacturing, the problem, of course, why it's happening, discuss further in high detail of the manufacturing process in itself to give everybody a background of truly what the main issue at stake is, to offer a handful of solutions. Unfortunately, at the time, there aren't a large and vast amount of solutions, or truly that number wouldn't be at that 40 million metric tons of emission. Some of the two main solutions that were involved right now are type 1L cement and CO2 concrete. With type 1L, it reduces that clinker, the main issue at stake, roughly by about 15%. And with CO2 concrete, what it does is it encapsulates that flume gas out of the plant and almost puts it in kind of a bin with concrete blocks, and that concrete blocks help absorb those emissions. And that is shown to reduce emissions anywhere from around 75%. So that has been major throughout the entire deal. It was wanted to be an informational piece to help everybody understand what is being offered, and also in the meanwhile, kind of incorporating my three minors to help produce this entire deal. So the three minors are business administration, mass communication, and technology, with an emphasis in construction management. For business administration, the main theory that I wanted to use was a triple bottom line coined by Mr. John Elkington. This, as many, I'm sure you know, what it mainly coins is that business doesn't revolve primarily around profit. It also has responsibility of not only, of course, profit, but to better the lives of their consumer and also have a positive impact for the environment. what I wanted to use is this could be directly used throughout the presentation to not only provide a little bit more of sense and understanding, but also to help people remind them, and companies especially, of why they need to go towards the solution and what their responsibility is of this matter. And as far as my mass communication, what I wanted to use the most was Aristotle's classic rhetoric theory. I've used this indirectly in the building and formation of my research, my presentation, especially mainly looking at how the communication works the best, how it can be worked so effectively through the argumentation and persuasiveness. And last but not least, for my technology with emphasis in construction management, the principle I wanted to use the most was the 7 principles of green building in the construction industry. So these have 7 major principles, kind of more of responsibilities of construction individuals and workers. But one of the main components of it is one of the 7 is listed as using sustainable materials. So this kind of ties back into almost directly of that responsibility that they have to use these materials, which kind of incorporate on why they should be pushing more forward with that type 1L cement, pushing more, consuming that, pushing it to their customers, and including also the CO2 concrete. There's a lot of different major options, and once again, these were going to be kind of used on more of a persuasiveness and also reminding of the responsibility that they have throughout their occupation. One of the things I learned a great deal throughout this project. It gave me a vast amount of knowledge and extensive knowledge on the cement industry in itself and the issue at hand. Through the research into the manufacturing process, the consumer base and patterns, projected outlooks, and economical impact, it has grown my career and knowledge in my industry exponentially. It's also let me see what I've been capable of. Before this, I was never confident with research projects, but with the help of Professor Gill and peers, I'm now confident in producing exceptional research projects and also communicating them in an efficient and more importantly, a professional manner. So I hope you all enjoy the research. My goal at the end of this is to encourage everybody to gather their own research as well. And also we'll be providing this to major cement industry and related industry outlets for more people to view and get help more informed. Thank you.